5 things I stopped buying because of Japanese minimalism. You know that feeling when you open your closet and it's packed with clothes, but you just stand there thinking, I have nothing to wear? Yeah, we've all been there. What if I told you that buying less stuff could actually make you happier? Sounds weird, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to me when I discovered Japanese minimalism, and today I'm sharing the 5 things I completely stopped buying that changed everything. So let's get started. Number 1, fast fashion clothes. Let me start with something that probably hits close to home for most of us. I used to be that person who would walk into stores like H&M or Zara every weekend, just browsing around. You know how it goes, right? You see a cute top for $15 and think, why not? Before you know it, you've spent $60 on clothes you'll wear maybe twice. The Japanese concept of mono no aware taught me something powerful about this habit. It means being aware of the temporary nature of things. When I really thought about it, most of my cheap clothes would fall apart, fade, or go out of style within a few months. I was basically throwing money away while filling my closet with things that didn't even make me feel good. Here's what changed everything for me. I started asking myself one simple question before buying any piece of clothing. Will I still love wearing this in 5 years? You'd be amazed how many items fail this test. Instead of buying 10 cheap shirts, I now invest in 2 or 3 high-quality pieces that I absolutely love. Yes, they cost more upfront, but a well-made cotton shirt from a good brand might cost $80 and last for years. Compare that to buying 4 $20 shirts that you'll need to replace every season. The math is simple, but the benefits go way beyond money. My mornings are so much easier now. I open my closet and everything in there is something I genuinely enjoy wearing. No more standing there for 20 minutes trying to find something decent. Japanese minimalism taught me that having fewer, better clothes actually gives you more freedom, not less. Number 2, kitchen gadgets and appliances. This one might surprise you, but I used to be a total sucker for kitchen gadgets. You know those late-night infomercials that make chopping vegetables look like rocket science? Yeah, I fell for way too many of those. I had a garlic press, an avocado slicer, a special device just for cutting bagels, and about 15 different things that all basically did the same job as a good knife. The Japanese approach to cooking really opened my eyes to how ridiculous this was. Have you ever seen a traditional Japanese kitchen? They're incredibly simple, but they produce some of the most beautiful and delicious food in the world. The secret isn't having every gadget imaginable. It's about mastering the basics with a few high-quality tools. I started looking at my kitchen with fresh eyes and realized something embarrassing. I was using maybe 20% of what I owned. That expensive juicer I bought after watching a health documentary, it sat in my cabinet for months at a time. The bread maker that seemed so essential, I used it maybe 3 times before it became a very expensive paperweight. The turning point came when I learned about Kaizen, the Japanese philosophy of continuous improvement through small, consistent actions. Instead of buying another gadget to solve a problem, I started focusing on improving my basic cooking skills. Turns out a really good chef's knife can handle about 90% of kitchen tasks when you know how to use it properly. Now my kitchen has maybe 10 essential tools, and I use every single one of them regularly. Cooking has become so much more enjoyable when I'm not digging through drawers full of random gadgets to find what I need. Number 3, books I'll never read again. Okay, this one was really hard for me to admit. I used to buy books like they were going out of style. Walking into a bookstore was dangerous for my wallet. I'd see an interesting title and think, I should read this someday. My shelves were packed with books I'd bought months or even years ago but never touched. The Japanese concept of tsundoku actually has a word for this exact problem. It means buying books and letting them pile up without reading them. Apparently, I wasn't alone in this habit, but learning about it made me realize how silly it was to keep buying books when I had dozens at home I hadn't even opened. Here's what really changed my perspective. I started thinking about books the same way Japanese people think about cherry blossoms. They're beautiful and meaningful when you're experiencing them, but you don't need to own them forever to appreciate their value. Most books serve their purpose once you've read them, and then it's time to let them go to someone else who can benefit from them. I did a huge book purge and kept only the ones I genuinely reference regularly or that have deep personal meaning. Everything else went to friends, local libraries, or donation centers. Now when I want to read something, I check my local library first. It's amazing how many books are available there, and if they don't have what I'm looking for, I can usually request it. This shift has made me a much more intentional reader. Instead of buying books on impulse, I really think about whether I'm actually going to read them. The money I save on books now goes towards experiences instead. Number 4, decorative items and knickknacks. Walking through my house a few years ago was like visiting a museum gift shop. I had decorative bowls that never held anything, little figurines from various trips, picture frames with photos I'd forgotten about, and countless other items that were supposed to make my space feel more homey. Instead, they just made everything feel cluttered and overwhelming. Japanese interior design taught me about the power of empty space, or ma as they call it. It's not about having nothing, it's about giving the things you do have room to breathe and be appreciated. When every surface is covered with stuff, nothing really stands out or brings joy. I started going through my decorative items and asking myself a simple question. Does this spark joy, or does it just take up space? Most of the little knickknacks I'd accumulated over the years were just taking up space. They weren't particularly meaningful to me, and they definitely weren't making my life better. If anything, they were making it harder because I had to dust around them all the time. The transformation was incredible. As I removed more and more decorative clutter, my home started to feel so much more peaceful and spacious. The few meaningful items I kept, like a beautiful vase my grandmother gave me or a piece of art I genuinely love, became focal points instead of getting lost in the visual noise. Now when I'm tempted to buy something decorative, I pause and think about where it would go and whether it would add real value to my space. Usually, the answer is no. My home feels much more like a sanctuary now, and cleaning takes about half the time it used to. Number 5, backup items and just-in-case purchases. This last one might hit close to home because it's something most of us do without even thinking about it. I used to buy multiples of everything, just in case. Extra phone chargers, backup shampoo bottles, spare batteries, duplicate tools, you name it. My cabinets were full of backup items that I thought would make my life easier. But here's the thing about just-in-case purchases. They rarely happen when you actually need them. How many times have you bought a backup item only to forget where you put it when you actually needed it? I can't count how many times I've bought a new phone charger because I couldn't find one of the 5 I had stored away somewhere. Japanese minimalism taught me to trust myself to handle situations as they come up, instead of trying to prevent every possible inconvenience. This doesn't mean being unprepared, it means being realistic about what you actually need versus what you think you might need someday. I started keeping just one extra of truly essential items like phone chargers and letting go of everything else. You know what happened? Nothing terrible. When my shampoo ran out, I just bought more. When I needed a tool I didn't have, I borrowed one from a neighbor or picked one up from the store. This change freed up so much storage space and mental energy. Instead of managing an inventory of backup items, I could focus on using and enjoying what I actually have. Plus, I stopped wasting money on things that would just sit in drawers for months or years. The peace of mind that comes from trusting yourself to handle situations as they come up is incredibly freeing. You don't need to own everything to feel secure. Lastly, if this video helped you see your buying habits in a new way, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. What's one thing you're going to stop buying after watching this video? Are you ready to try the Japanese minimalism approach in your own life? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.